All right. Hope everybody is doing great. Steve Green here, your host. Another episode of AMA Live. One of our members, Hallie Steinberg, is in the studio. Hallie, how are you?
I'm doing great, Steve. How are you?
I'm excited. You know, I love talking to you. Have been I think this is your second time as a guest on AMA Live.
Yes.
Here's the thing. A little spoiler alert. We got a special guest as well.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, I got a little secret Hallie and I are going to reveal. Oh, look. Oh, there it is.
Teaser.
So last time, Hallie is a health coach and a wellness coach and a wellness advocate, a wealth of information regarding that. She's also a parent, a mother of 3 beautiful children, all kinds of educational background. But for today, we are going to feature
my guest, the Tower Garden.
So let's introduce the Tower Garden. How are you?
Tower Garden's doing well.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be very verbal, but that's okay. So let's talk. Give us a little bit of background, and then tell us what's going on with this really, really cool device that you have there.
Great. Well, I love gardening, but I live in Pennsylvania, so I can only garden for this much of a time, half the year, if not even half the year. So I am excited that I'm able to garden inside all year round. I can bring this Tower Garden inside or outside. And I've been doing it for 4 years now, and I've had great harvests, and I'll explain a little bit more about what it is. But basically, it's an indoor aeroponic growing system. It's very innovative, and I absolutely love it.
Aeroponic means it grows on air?
Well, it's different than hydroponic. Hydroponic is when the roots stay in water at all times. So an aeroponic cycles water and air. So this, based on our Tower Garden, what happens is the water is pumped 15 minutes on per hour, 45 minutes off. So every hour it cycles on for 15 minutes. So the roots are exposed to air for 45 minutes and 15 minutes of water and nutrients. So that's why it's
beautiful. And I mean, it's clearly working.
Yeah.
And it has lights. And what are you growing? What kind of plants do you have there?
Now I've got a bunch of different types of kale, some lettuce, different types of lettuce. I've got herbs growing. Now this garden, basically some of the kale that you can see is very leggy. It's been in here for 6 months. So it's time to swap it out because you keep harvesting it. But over time, it gets leggy. So at the top part, you can see it's starting to get really long. It still stays within the light system. I can get up and show you a little bit closer. So I have herbs, lettuces, bok choy, different types of kale. Indoor, I've done celery. I've done Swiss chard. I've done snap peas. I mean, you can grow tomatoes, you can grow peppers indoor, cucumbers, all those things, but predominantly those do the best outside. But when I'm growing indoor, I like to stick with the leafy greens.
And I'm sure growing it is fun, but what's even better? Eating it.
Yeah. Yep. And it's funny because I always know when my kids have been down here, because I have one daughter who loves parsley, and I always have to do a lot of parsley. You'll see like one side is almost all parsley. And I can always tell she's been down here because she leaves pieces of parsley all over the floor.
Oh, yeah, that's telling piece of evidence there. The forensics.
I'd rather be parsley than something else. So
there you go. Well, look, it's good. It's good you got the forensics in place there. For those people who are thinking, yeah, that looks kind of cool, but I can't grow a weed. Is this something anyone can do? It's easy.
Yes. I mean, people with, they say they don't have a green thumb. You don't need a green thumb. It's a very scientific product. So basically it's got the system set up. You set up a pump. So you don't need to do anything with the water except fill up the water in the reservoir and add nutrients. And then you set the timer. So we've got a pump for the water, and then we have a timer for the light system when you're growing indoors. If you're growing out, you don't need the light system. And so it's very specific of what to do. You get these pods, basically a growing medium. You put the seeds in. You let them sprout, usually takes a couple of days, and you put them right in the tower and it grows. And what's nice is it grows very quickly because the water and nutrients are really, rather than go through the soil, it's directly hitting the roots at all times. Well, 15 minutes of the hour, but it's directly hitting the roots. So it grows quite quickly. And then you change out the harvest as needed. So there's really not much that you can do wrong, except if you don't follow the directions, pretty much.
Well, that seems to be an epidemic issue, but we won't go there. And it's not very much maintenance, right? You don't have to like pick weeds, which everybody hits.
No
And one
weeds.
thing I dislike about gardening, I'm sure everybody does.
No weeds. I mean, the only thing you would do is for an outdoor garden, if you wanted to bring it back in, you would start new because you don't want to bring and introduce any pests into your house or on the
Sure.
garden. So you want to keep it pest free. So I always grow from seedling, from seeds to seedling, and then indoors. And if I bring it out, I make sure I keep what's outside and inside. So that's important. But other than that, I mean, it's really quite a simple process. And I have to tell you a funny story. How this tower garden is like a cycle. It's been a full circle for me because when I was a kid, I think I was 8 years old, I went to the land exhibit in Epcot. I don't know if you've ever been there, but it's
I
basically,
actually have, but
it's like the futuristic exhibit
yeah. Future
about the
world.
future of gardening. And there was a room, I remember this clear as day because my background's in science. So I love science in general. The walls, the ceilings, everything was hydroponics and aeroponics. And I was enthralled with this room. And I just remember it so clearly. They were hanging things from the ceiling that were growing. It was amazing. Well, come many years later, I'm not even going to tell you how many years later, but many years later, I came across this tower garden through the Juice Plus company, and I fell in love with it. And I found out that the creator was Tim Blank, and he actually worked for so many years in the land exhibit with all their technological processes, with Imagineering, all of that. So he actually worked at the land exhibit and then created his own residential and commercial, because you can get it commercial as well, system for indoor growing and outdoor.
See how, but look at this. It was a kismet. It was a Bashir.
I know what that means.
Yes.
Meant to be.
Yeah. So if somebody is interested in trying one of these gardens, I imagine you could help them secure one. How would they go about doing that?
Absolutely. The best way to go is to go through my website or contact me. I mean, I can help with any questions. I do virtual tours of my tower garden. Before COVID, I used to let people come in and take a look at it, but now it's more virtual. It's a very hands-on process for me. I help people set it up. Another thing I do is work with schools, and Steve, you will appreciate this. Help schools get the tower garden because it has a full curriculum, lesson plans, everything you need for a school program. I also help with community centers, senior centers. So there's a lot of neat applications you can use for the tower garden, not just for your family, but for other businesses as well and schools. So yeah, so my website, I got long-winded there. My website, which happens to be halliesteinberg.towergarden.com. And Hallie Steinberg is spelled HALLIESTEINBERG, but my name's not there.
And that should be in the notes with this video. And if it isn't, you can add it in the comments. Can you give us a little close up? Can we get close?
Yeah, let's go.
Does the garden have a name? Is it like a pet where you named it?
Don't have a name, but I do talk to it. I know I'm one of those.
Like Gary Garden?
No, but I'll say hello, Tower Garden. No, I'm just kidding. So I do. Let's see if I can show you.
I see that looks like kale. It looks like kale to me.
It's not as easy. Now, this is the flex model. Oh, sorry, guys. It's the flex model. There's two different models. There's a home model and a flex model. The home model is for strictly indoor use. The flex can go inside and out. You can see here, this is where the timer for the light system is. These are the LED lights. They don't get hot. I mean, it's quite neat. It's kind of hard to see right now, the individual pods, but as you can see, it's quite leggy. Some of these.
You're clearly getting a good yield. I mean, look at it. It's like you're in the Amazon.
I am. It's a little forest here.
What do you?
I change things up to make a good variety. I don't want to always have the same thing, so it's nice. It grows. You can harvest within 3 weeks, so it's pretty quick from seed to harvest. It's pretty quick.
So I mean, the growing aside, I know if you like gardening, and I do as well, there's just a certain satisfaction and kind of peace of mind of growing something in your own yard and going out and picking it and eating it. It always just seems to taste a little bit better.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's psychological, but may not be.
Well,
maybe real.
When kids get involved in gardening, they're more apt to try new things. They're more apt to go and, take a piece of kale and give it a nibble, grow it, and they're involved in the process, whether it's inside or outside.
Very, very cool. Well, I'm going to call it Gary Garden. Gary Garden, welcome. Thank you for being our guest today. We'll have to come back and see how you grow in another few months. Hallie, this is so cool. Hallie has so much to offer. The garden is a great product. She has a really, really nice line of healthful products as well, which we can get into another time. Is there anything you want to leave people with? Like, did you cut a piece of kale for Halloween for everybody, or you didn't go that far?
Didn't go that far.
Okay, well, maybe next
No,
year.
no, I've food. Come on, that would be they
Could
just
wrap a Reese's cup in a piece of kale. Maybe that.
no, nothing.
No.
Well, I would just say, get your produce in, whether even if it's the winter time, whether you get frozen or you get it from a supermarket or a farmer's market, which tend to not happen in the winter. But eat your eat your produce. It's really important. And there's great ways to get it, great tricks. But this is one way to get it, especially when it's getting cold out.
Yeah, you don't have to go to the store. You just walk down. In your case, you walk down to your basement, you pick it, you cut it off, and go chop it up, and yum, yum, yum.
Nice and easy. I don't even wash it.
No, well, that's true because there's no insecticides or pesticides or anything, so it's organic, right?
And there's nothing that I need to do to wash it. We just eat straight from it.
So cool.
Thank
Our guest today, AMA member Hallie Steinberg, coming to you live from her basement garden greenhouse sort of center. Hallie is, like I keep saying, a wealth of information. You should get with her, talk health, talk wellness, talk gardening, talk all sorts of things. Just really glad that you remember this group and all the great things you bring. AMA Live, another episode about to wrap up. If you are a member and you are interested in being a guest on AMA Live, just let us know and we'll try to make it happen ASAP. This is here to help people promote themselves and their businesses, just like we're doing here with Hallie. So I'm going to wrap it up for today. Hallie, we'll see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Goodbye, Gary Garden. Jerry Garden. Gary Garden better.
Yeah, I do too.
All right. It is a wrap. See you next time.
Bye-bye.